I am going to use the awesome power of chemistry to fix and restore this NES, and it's easier than you think. 8-bit joystick. I had so much fun in my previous video showing you how you can use boiling water to clean corrosion off an NES 72-pin cartridge connector that I went out and bought another Fixer-up NES system to restore. I am not only going to be using chemistry to restore the cartridge connector, but I'm going to restore the case by using Retro-Brite. Now, let's get busy with retro video game science. I was on the lookout for an NES system that was having connection problems. This is basically like an NES that you will find in the back of a closet somewhere. It has been left to the annals of time, and it needs a little TLC love. And that's what it's going to get from here today. So the note that it said on top is, "Not reading games. Controller port?" ? And it has done a little, it's a little bit yellowed and could use some retro-briting. In my previous video, this is the NES that I had. It absolutely needs some retro-briting, but it's currently reading cartridges fine. However, I found that this actually, cartridges get stuck in here. So I suspect that the board has been over-tightened, and we got to get that also working. Distilled white vinegar, a number 2 Phillips screwdriver to open up the NES, some glass bowls or containers to hold the screws, some good old 99 or industrial alcohol for some cleaning, a toothbrush that is relatively clean, but you're going to use it for cleaning cartridges and not to be used in your mouth, unless you like that stuff. I'm also going to be neutralizing the NES lockout chip, and so to cut that, I have a bit of what is called a metal tools called nippers. So this is actually intended for cutting out plastic pieces, but it is rated for metal, and it will be excellent, just what I need to cut the lockout chip. Also going to need some gloves. I have some nitrile gloves here. Various disposable dishwashing gloves are all in women's sizes. Well, I'm a man, I got big man hands. So this is actually a chemical rated, nice and loose chemical glove. But I got this to do dishes, but it's perfect for just projects like this. Retro-Brite brand spray gel. I got this on Amazon. I did it on a previous project 2 years ago, and it worked great. And it's corrosive. You need proper eye protection. And a previous time I did one spray, and I got a back splash on my face, and I'm like, I'm going to stop and get proper eye connections, because this is quite safe. This you have to be careful with. Clear plastic garbage bags. This is going to be containing the NES, the plastic, during the Retro-Brite process. And since this is going to be sitting out in the sun all day, or as much sun as you can actually get in Portland, Oregon, I have clips. All right, now here is the new system that I have. All right, now it's ready to open up. Yeah, I wonder if this was over-tightened. I don't know, but I'm going to be disassembling this and hitting that cartridge connector. We are going to be fixing that cartridge connector. If you're going to test the system, don't use the good games. I actually got this for free at a convention. I went to a convention, and the guy, the dealer, was like, and I was like, "Hey, how much is this bootleg?" And he was like, "I don't care, you can take it. I hate those things." So, but he was selling it, so he gave it to me. So, don't use your good cartridges to test systems. Use the ones that you don't care about. I'll be coming back to this one, but I want to get to the case. Oh man, this is a little filthy. So I'm actually glad that I'll be cleaning. Oh, look, there's some schmutz and dirt in here. It's not. This is actually a lot more filthier comparing to the other system. So I'm glad that I'm doing this. Yeah, so apparently this NES system might have had an encounter with some soda or something, but that is actually still sticky and crappy, so I'm actually glad that I'm washing this. And let's get this last little bit out. Plastics are an artificial substance synthesized from petroleum, and one thing about petroleum is that it's known to catch fire and explode, causing a lovely exothermic chemical reaction. Now, the most common type of plastic used in retro video game systems is ABS, or acrylonitrile butadiene styrene. Sorry for mispronouncing that. And in order for this plastic to be stable at regular temperatures, the chemical bromine is added to the liquid plastic when it is molded and formed into the final desired shape. This bromine is a flame retardant substance, and it makes the plastic nice and relatively chemically stable at regular temperatures. The problem is that over time, the oxygen molecules in the air will do its best to pick up an electron from the bromine in the plastic, and the related polymer oxidation process is called photodegradation. This will cause the formation of free radicals on the surface of the plastic that is quite stable, and a previously white or beige plastic, which was ever so popular in the 1980s and 90s, will turn a sort of bright lemon yellow. So to get rid of this yellowing of the plastic, you're going to need a base, and the most commonly used is hydrogen peroxide. The hydrogen in the hydrogen peroxide will bond with the free radicals that were formed from the photodegradation of the plastic, and eventually it will restore the lost electron, and it can restore the original color of the beige or white plastic. The ultraviolet UV light in sunlight will act as a catalyst and will accelerate the speed of this process by breaking down the free radicals, and the chemical reaction will go faster. A bright sunlight is a bit of a rare commodity here in Portland, Oregon. So I have distilled white vinegar. And when I posted my prior video, oh my God, you can't use vinegar because it's a chemical and it's an acid and it's going to eat through your plastic and it's going to eat through your metal, and it is a chemical. And my father, who is a chemist, frequently likes to say, you know what is made out of chemicals? Everything. Everything in the entire universe is made out of chemicals. That's one thing he said. Other thing he said is that the location of the decimal point matters. So what that means is this is diluted to water to a strength of 5% acid strength. So this is an acid, yes, but it is also a weak acid. So it's actually meant for human consumption. So, l'chaim. Safe, tangy. That would be good in a salad. But despite my best efforts, I actually did get a little bit of a chemical burn on one of my fingers from the retro-briting process. So in this case, the bleach is actually more dangerous than the acid. And the other thing is, if you're dumping out vinegar, do not put it in the same place where you have the bleach, because when you combine an acid and a strong bleach, it will create chlorine gas, which is dangerous to breathe, dangerous to be around, and it smells terrible. And that's the reason why you don't mix cleaning products. Science. So now that the retro-briting is currently baking in the sun, or whatever passes for sun in Portland, Oregon, let's get to opening up this system. So I'm starting by removing the screws on the completely unnecessary and over-engineered top RF shield. All right, internal screws. The RF shield is up. I wonder if these are over tightened, and maybe that's one of the reasons why it's been acting wonky. Because, so my previous one, this is how it's properly done. This, I think, was like bent down on my other one, but this is, I believe, what Nintendo actually wanted. So this should be lifting free. It does. So now I can lift free and pull up and remove the cartridge tray. So I'm going to remove the lower shield. I, of course, dislike the lower shield. Oh, Nintendo. So I'm going to take my the RF shield. Oh, Sieg Zealand. No, I am not endorsing space fascism. Yes. So all you need is one snip to get rid of a Nintendo RF shield, which you can then take and throw right into the garbage or recycle. So here is, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to bend this one forward to give myself a little bit more room, but I don't want to break that little piece. Let's remove the 72-pin connector. So now that the 72-pin connector is not, now that the motherboard is free, I'm holding the motherboard and, oh, just came off like that. But sometimes if it's on there tight, you have to rock it a little bit back there. Inspecting the 72-pin connector, I'm not seeing anything super bad. But since this had the difficulty, I do want to clean this, and I'm going to be soaking it overnight in distilled white vinegar. Yes, it fits. This is a IKEA resealable plastic container. But before then, I'm going to do the heat boil. I'm going to boil it for 5 minutes, and then use a cartridge to hopefully make sure that the pins are nice and aligned. So while this is still hot, I have my cheap game that I don't care about, and I'm connecting it and removing it a couple times. Might as well also use a 1-Up card console cleaner. And since I do sort of care about this cartridge, since I got some water on there, I'm initially going to dry it. Because when I say I don't care, I actually do like, regular Nintendo cartridges, and also some crappy bootlegs like this one. Now that this has been boiled and removed, let's get onto the vinegar. Soaking it down because I want to make sure that it is covered. Now I've heard overnight And I've heard 24 hours. So it is 3:15 right now, and I will come and get this tomorrow morning. Ha! Dead moth. Oh, look at this. Dead fly. So you might not think that you see corrosion or corrosive ion residue, but it's there. You want to very carefully cut the fourth from the left pin on the lockout chip. Now you want to be very careful to remove the bag without getting any bleach anywhere or on yourself. It can burn you. So, I think I just realized one of the problems with this particular NES. I believe that someone was indeed inside this before they decided to turn it in, potentially used the wrong screws. So the NES on the inside has multiple 3.25 millimeter Phillips screws and two 17.25 millimeter Phillips screws, and there is a bit of a difference between them. So in order for the cartridge tray to connect and lie in there right, they have to be, the longer screws need to be on here and here in both sides, connecting the cartridge connector to the motherboard. So I think since they used the wrong screws in the wrong place, it's one of the reasons why the cartridges just weren't going in the right place. And I am not clamping down. I'm just basically getting them in here, and I'm not overly tightening, because if you over tighten you can bend the board. And then for screws, but you want to make sure that the longer screws are right there. All right, let's put this back together. All right, let's finish this up. So if you're going to use the top shield, don't over tighten it. And make sure that it is aligned on the various posts. Alright, thank you for watching this video. My kitty Guy here wanted to let you know that we make awesome videos like this each week, so make sure that you are subscribed. This is 8-Bit Joystick. Stay awesome, play retro.